Well, we got another Freelander in here, but this one's on a Chevy chassis. I think the other one is on a Ford chassis. So, it's got the same problem. I don't know if you can see with them walkboards in the way, but you can see how it just bubbles down. If you're going to look at a Class C, if it's got this bubbling coming down, you got a rotted bunk. And it's not supposed to do that. So, I don't know if you can see it, but you can kind of see some of this nonsense going on, but it's definitely drooping down. So we're going to probably see it even better over here too. Light's coming in over there. So we're going to go up. We're going to go see. This is a little bigger and it's got a slide. The other one does not. All that butyl sticking out. I don't use butyl. And I've tried to get on some of these, like on Facebook, and make comments about how butyl doesn't work. And I keep telling them that this is what happens, that it'll push out the caulking. You put the butyl behind there, now you put the screws in. The butyl's got to come to what you basically call the rest. So it'll keep oozing out until it finds its rest. And that's what happens. And people say, oh, I do it all the time. But it's going to push your caulking away. So that's got to get cleaned up. All right. Whew. Got some issues here. That's just caulking coming out. Yep, all that water going down that hole. Sounds okay. The membrane actually feels pretty good. I like the membrane. Feels, better than some of the other ones that I've come across. But there's your typical RV roof. Put more on. Just slobbering all that stuff. Broken vent. Focus. There we go. But this is what happens with this Dicor. I don't know what brand it is. I'm just saying Dicor, but it could be, I don't know, whoever else is out there. It's designed to fail. If it's an exterior caulking, why is it failing? It should not be failing. It just shouldn't. This coach isn't 20 years old. So, but that's what it does. It fractures out. And a lot of what happens is like these type products have petroleum distillates in them. What a petroleum distillate is, the best way I could tell you is, it is when you get gasoline or you get diesel on your hand and you feel that slickness, that's a petroleum distillate. And it's got to be, it helps keep things kind of broken down so you can apply it. But once it's down, it's got to do what it's called flash off. And basically, that just, some people call it dry cure. But it's a process in which all those gases come out. So when those gases release, they leave all those potholes behind, so you gotta go back and put some more on. So you look at all around there, that's all breached. All around, they put this on here. This is silicone. I've told everybody it doesn't work, but no one listens. What do I know? I don't say things for the heck of it. This is stuff that I see happen, or I will do some reading. But that's not going to do a thing. Look at that. Well, those rusty screws, they peel right up. Yeah. Nice little ring. Silicone ring. There's your butyl right there. It's all crumbly and hard because the UV light broke it. It dried it out. That's another reason why we don't use it. So then you come over here to the skylight and you got the same issues. So I'm hoping this isn't all. It sounds good under there. Let's see what happens when we pull it up. I may have to replace that lens. It may be cracked or fractured. Don't know. But sometimes it looks old, obviously. It's all yellow. But, you can see a little bit. I think this has already been gone over once anyways. That's what it looks like. But maybe that's just the way that got dirty. But you can see all that cracking in there. So go put some more on there. This is their cash cow. This product. So I kind of figured out roughly if you had 1 million coaches out there and they were buying 10 tubes a piece to do their roof. And I'm talking from the small ones to the big ones, so average. And I'm just throwing numbers out there. At $15 a tube and do that every few months, that in itself is a $500 million racket right there. That's not including the coatings, conditioners, and all the other stuff. So I think I'd be pretty safe to say that that scam is about $1 billion. That is a crazy, crazy scam right there. That's why they put them down this way. So the other issue that you have with these air conditioners, a lot of people have some leaks. Up underneath here, in the corner right here on this side and on the opposite side, there's some drain portholes. so they'll drain down. Now if you get some debris or anything that gets in there and clogs them up, you just pop this cover off, you go in, you can clean them out. But up underneath here is the foam gasket. That's the only thing protecting you from the weather, is a little piece of foam. And the ones that they usually put on there are 4 pieces. So they're 4 pieces like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they glue it, glue it, glue it, glue it. It's not even one stamped out piece. So now you get pollen, dirt, and all that other debris. It dries out that gasket. When it dries the gasket out, you get chronic leaks. You're not going to get a big leak as a rule. You're not going to get it just pouring in. Not from this anyways. Not until it wears really bad, and it can, right? So we'll say you get a couple little drips, and eventually you get chronic right off the roof. Then when it's afterwards, it could possibly come in a little heavier. So that's one of the reasons why these things would leak. And I'm saying one of, because there's a couple other problems. Could be with the air conditioner, could be the way it's tilted, could be the way the coach is tilted. If it's, you know, you can say, hey, it looks good on my roof. Well, the coach is tilted this way when you park it, or it has enough to go down, then it would drain back and it could get in around the ductwork. So there's a few other things. Up underneath here, like you said, those portholes, if the portholes are either clogged or if they're broke. If they're broke, then sometimes the water will want to try. There's a pan right up underneath there, and it'll go into the pan right here where the condenser is, and it can't go down that porthole, and it'll go right into the actual pan. It'll kind of go below the plastic tray it has and get in between there, and I've seen it leak that way. I'd probably have to take one apart to show you, but anyhow, that's some synopsis for the day. No gutters. Need to have gutters in this thing. That's definitely a requirement. So we're going to get this thing apart, and we'll see how bad this one is, and we can tell obviously we got some rot in there, but more than likely we'll be redecking this. I don't know what kind of roof is on here. It feels like a TPO roof, but I don't know if it's a more than likely a fleece back. That's usually what they all are. I don't know if I can get a piece up. Yep. So we may be able to, no, it may not be. Let's see if I can probably get a bigger piece up. But some of them will have fleece on the back, and a fleece back is it's like a fleece on the inside. Yeah, it's a fleece back. You can see it right there. It looks like it's a like the inside of your sweatshirt, but we'll have to redeck this because that'll leave clumps all around. I doubt it's going to come off nice and clean, so it'll leave clumps. And when I put my roofing on there and the adhesive, it'll have these little wads of basically look like hairballs up underneath there. All right, let's get to work. We're going to take it apart. We're going to show you everything we got going on. We got to rip that bunk apart too. That's up front. That's all rotted. All right, so I was brought to my attention of how wibble wobbly this ladder is. Wow. See the support. The water get in there. That's just him right there putting his foot on it. You can see how much that thing's moving. So that's why we put the little, we're going to put a leg down here that'll carry all that weight. But we may have to investigate that. I don't like it. See the way that's moving? I don't like that. Let's check it out. We'll find out when we take this corner mold off. See what we got going on there. Again, there's your butyl. But yeah, that'll leak right in there. It can leak and rot all that out. Just that. Again, you want to seal that up. You want to seal up all the screws. You know, you back them out, put some booger on it, send it in. I try to seal everything up. Obviously, seal around the lights. All that stuff needs to be done. These are maintenance hogs. They're great when you go out and you're having fun, but as soon as some water gets in them, it's like acid. It'll eat it up. So down in here too, I want to get some, they need to have caulking in there. It'll rot all of this out, all this bottom end. We'll give it a once over and advise the customer of the concerns that I have come across. So this fine camper came all the way from Louisiana. All right, so on our Freelander, you can see all that fleece. So that piece that's up, we'll pull that down, but you're not gonna get the rest of this up. So you can see like around here where they had all that cow pucky, all that dye crap, whatever the heck it was, you can still see that water got in there. You can see the rust. Even over there, you can see the rust getting through the screws. Got some edging that was starting to wick up from the edge here. So look at that. Oh, then we got some mold over here. So we're gonna mold kill this whole thing. And then sounds good. Looks a little G-land right there, so we're definitely gonna peel that out. Then we're gonna go over this anyways or redeck it. But we do have some issues with that back wall, and we're just gonna free up a couple more things and show you what that's like, and then we'll have to see what the plan is from the customer and see how they want to do it. But I can't really open this up right now because I got this light screwed in and it won't pull back, but it seems pretty soft. I got another light down there I may take out so I can peek in there. Got some rot up inside here on the bottom edge of this wall. You can see it all coming out. So let's open it up. And let's give you some updates on our Freelander. You can see we got that wall out. That's the wall that goes in there. We took it out. We took this other one out. You see we got all that removed. We got this other one out. Right here. So this is what they look like. And there's the other one. This one isn't as bad, it's still rotted, but not nearly like that one. But all that bottom is gone. So we're gonna redo these. Now we got the platform. This is the platform that we made. And this platform is gonna be stronger than what we took out. Got everything all, the joinery is all done. It's screwed and glued and so forth. But then this is just the foam that we put in, that it's glued, but also I want to make sure I don't want to just make it tight to the frame. I want to glue it to the frame. So that's what this is. That's a foam adhesive. So we glue, everything's all glued together. It's got to form in that way, meaning function that way. So it works in concert. So everything has got structurality to it. And then this lap right here, this one is actually a lap joint, and that'll add strength when these two are sitting on top of it. These aren't just they're not just tagged in that way, they're all lapped in together. So we got all that joinery going on to keep it nice and tight. All right, so that's us. We're gonna get this one cladded over, and then we'll clean up that siding. It looks like it's okay. We're gonna clean that up and put it back on here. And the same with that, it's got siding on it. I like to keep things original as much as I can, because I don't want it to have basically a sore thumb, so to speak. You put a brand new piece on it, no matter where you go, get gas, whatever. Hey, what happened? What happened here? What happened there? So I try to keep things original. It also keeps red flags down if you're going to sell it. You know, it doesn't look like something happened and then it got fixed. Who fixed it? Is it fixed right? You know, it just adds to worry if you're ever trying to sell it. So we try to keep things as original as we can, unless we're just forced to. So this is obviously the platform. You can see how bad that is. It just fell apart. And look at the way they put all this together. It's just all stapled. I don't know if you can see that. See if I can zoom up. It's just all stapled. That's all they do. Just staple everything. Here's another one right up here. That's all it is. Everything just stapled. Hey, here's another staple mark right here. That's all they do. And these are supposed to hold together going down the road with all that headwind and the bounce. And then so what happens is now when it loosens up the caulking, and then the water gets in there, and then it just starts pouring in. And that's it. Yeah, that just fell out right there. Don't take much effort. So you can see even up inside here, see, all rotted. But that's the way the RV industry does you know, and it's a shame. These things are expensive, and who wants to spend all that money and then have to do all these repairs? And you go to some other shops, they're going to put it together the same exact way. That's the big concern I have with a lot of these shops, and I tend to call them out because they're going to mock and mimic what the RV industry did, and obviously it doesn't work. So then the customer has to pay yet again, so they're paying twice. That's just not fair. Well, these are the new wings that we built right here. So we've got all them. We've already got them laminated on the other side. There you go. We already got them laminated. We use the same siding. I want it to look original. I don't want to look like we tampered with anything. So we're going to put these back in. But obviously you can see you got fresh wood in there.
All right, we got the
front end coming together. We've still got some work to do on it, of course. And then we've got another piece way at the top. We made those new radii up underneath there. What we did is there's all interior trim on the inside. So instead of taking that down and trying to rebuild it, we rebuilt it up on top so we don't have to mess with the inside. And then you have all new stuff in the inside. So there was nothing wrong with it. It wasn't rotted, didn't look bad. So we just left it and we added a lot of strength to it. And like I said, we got new radii up in there. When you have more than one radius, I guess it's a radii from what they say. And then we still got to clad all this with some sheet metal. We're going to pull everything together. Still got to fill in those little squares right in here with some foam adhesive. We'll do all that. We'll get some insulation up on the top. But right now we're just pulling the whole platform on the inside, tightening everything up. We've got our sides on here. I guess call these like wings on this one and the other side. So we rebuilt all that. You can see even the black right there. That's all new gasket, all new gasket, all new gasket. Everything's all new on here. So while they're doing that, kind of shift it a little bit. And these are, you can see all the debris down here, but you can see, I don't know if you can see how bad that's rotted. Maybe I'm too close or trying to zoom up. I don't give you a better view on it. But this piece, there it goes. Let me see how rotted that is. So that whole wall, as you can see, is all moving, and we're gonna see where it's all distressed out. I know I got some rotted frame right here, but you can actually put your finger through all this and tear it out. See? So all that's rotted. And then we want to see how far it goes, but that's what we're working on right now to see where we're at. All right, there's our back wall. There's the bottom, top. So there's the inside. So we stripped all that. So you got, obviously you can see the wood frame. They have a piece of aluminum on the top. And that's a channel so to run some wires. See the wires for the lights. That's what all that's for. And there's another trough where all the lights and then all the harness go through here for the other wires that'll come up. This is for the brake light, the marker light, your tail lights. There's another one underneath the coach that serves over there, and you can see it's got a slot like this over there. So, but you can see obviously all the rot. I mean, this is it's just falling right off. So all of this is, hey. And you go, hey, what's the big deal? I mean, that looks like fresh wood. Well, evidently they're not doing anything. And all they do, this is how I keep stressing to people, it's just stapled. That's it. You need to have some strength in this back wall. That is what prevents the racking back and forth. That's what it does. You don't have any strength in there, it's gonna rack, and then things fall apart. Caulking starts breaking loose, and you get rot. So, like I said, we're gonna strip it all down, we'll rebuild it. And obviously, this piece right here was the center where the floor was. So, we've got a little bit of work ahead of us. In here, that's solid wood. You can see right there, rotted solid wood, but that's supposed to be solid. There's another piece right here. These were for the ladder. So I had 1, 2, and there's 3 mounts. This is the third one, but if you look, see the mounts here? See where the board is? Way over here, it wasn't even catching. So that's not a good deal. So obviously we'll have to make that one a little better, right? So that's what you get at these RV places. They just slap them together. You know, thank you for your money. Get them built, get them out, get them sold. So we got everything all framed back in. Everything's all done. Everything's all glued and fastened. You guys say, hey, you said they put staples in it. So we glued all these. That's what we did. So the adhesive is actually stronger than the fasteners. So it would actually rip the wood apart. and we're going to clad over it, and we're going to glue everything all back together. The other thing we're doing right now is coming around with the foam adhesive, and we're bonding the foam right back to the frame as well. So we're going to get all that on there. Once we get all that, then we clad on a new piece of sheathing, and we can try to get the wall back together. Well, our radius is coming together. You can see that we've got some, let's stay that camera there. You can see we've got some metal going up on these radii, and that's all glued together. And then what we did is put a piece on there just to hold it all in and make it a little stronger. So everything is all lined up. You can see the way we laid it out, so it has all this strength going down to meet everything else. So now we're going to wrap it, and we also got, you can see we got all the insulation in there, and now we're going to wrap. So come back a little bit. We're going to wrap over here with some steel. We're going to wrap on top of here with some sheet metal. So sheet metal, sheet metal. We got that. And we got the platform going. We already got it all together. We got a couple pieces of metal in here. That's going to be used to help. There's a cabinet in there. We need something to screw to. So we got all that together. And it's ready to get glued and put back in. As soon as we get all this sheathing adhered to it. This is a wall sheathing. All right, we have got our bunk almost there. Just got to put the siding on now. So you can see we cladded over that with metal. So now, and it's also glued and fastened. And it's going to be glued and fastened on everything. This isn't going anywhere. This is tight as a drum. So it keeps everything working, what's called in concert. Everything will work. All the structure is there. It's all coming together. That's the way it should work. So the roof is all glued down, and we just sanded it to make sure it married together well. Looks good. All right, so now what we're doing is we're putting on the front skin. That's what we're doing. We're gonna glue it all together. You gotta get adhesive on both sides. All right, so we have got the passenger side, that's already glued down, so you can see all the glue on here. This is a contact cement. The RV industry just does one side. They just do the bottom. They don't generally do the membrane, and that's part of the reason why you see it kind of loose and not sticking well. You can see we've got our nice little corner edge here, and that's so the siding itself doesn't come up and compromise the roof when the coach is kind of moving down the road. You don't want the siding to be right up against it. And now on the RV industry, all they do is just put some tape on there, and that's just not gonna work. So now we can get a nice tight corner, have it look nice and clean, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna roll it out. We've already got the front cap, we already got that glued. I was showing you that, and then I'll show you that it's complete. I think we were showing that it was being sprayed at that time. So like I said, we're ready to get this about ready rolled out, and then we can start cutting holes and putting the whole thing together. All right, so we've got the roof all rolled out, and what we're doing now is going over it with this heavy roller. That is bonds it really well. We're gonna make sure it's down. So we'll go over the whole roof with that, then we'll start cutting out the holes for our vents, air conditioners, and things like that. We are done with our Freelander. All right, so you can see right here we put a black stripe, but around this radius where it comes around, that had some slight hair fractures. The easiest fix was obviously to put the vinyl on there. Then we just put that black stripe on just to kind of make it look better. So it just didn't look like it transitioned from the lighter or that off-white to bright white. We didn't have the same color. But anyhow, that's why we put that on there. Everything has been sealed. Everything has been sealed on this coach. That was one of the issues with it, was that there was just not enough caulking on here. So that's what we do. We went around every single thing. So some of the areas, if you have a coach, where you're gonna get leaks, see if you can see my little light here. Should be able to see that green light right around the windows, even up here. You want to take those screws out, back them out. You want to get that right here, even this bracket. Anything water's going to hit, anything at all, even down in here, you want to get this. The other thing we do is even in this door right around here, the inside of this frame, we caulk that. Obviously, this is a no-brainer. Got to get that caulk. Everything is caulked. So when you do the slide outs. We got one open over here. The battery's dead, that's why we're charging it. So one of the other things, well, there's a slide, I'll show you that in a minute, but inside this awning right here, when you open this up, there's a couple of bolts. So water can actually get in here from driving, right in here. Just from driving, you hit in the rain, the water is coming across the coach, it'll go down, trickle down to wherever the screws are. I think they're down here. You'd have to open it up. But there's screws in here that screw, obviously, the frame, this part of the arm, back into the coach. So water can get in there and find its way down. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to put some caulking on here. Now this part up here, right up in here, that's open. So any water that gets in is going to come down and it'll just come out right here. This isn't blocked off, so it'll come out. But the other thing we did was we backed out the screw, put some caulking in it, put the screw back. You want to do them one at a time. You don't want to do them, you know, try and take them all out and do it, because then the whole awning just, it's going to fall apart on you. You don't need to do that. Just one at a time. So the same thing with these doors, right in here, right up in here. You want to seal that. You want to seal here. You need to seal all of this. These, what we do is take these screws out, put some caulking in there, squish it back in, of course, do that. Here's another thing that causes these doors to delaminate. So, get this door shut a little bit. So again, inside the door skin, you want to get that inside the glass right here, because the water will get down behind this plastic piece. You want to seal that, obviously, around the window, around the door handle. Again, inside here, we took the cap off, took the handle off, loaded it, put it back on, obviously the door frame. This is, I don't like the way they design these. This notch is usually up higher. This little notch is generally up higher. We took, basically, you can use a little knife, but we carved it out. So I carved it out, and then we loaded some caulking in there. So now any water that gets in there is going to dribble out here. If you don't do that, it's going to get behind this plastic piece right here, and it's going to go to this screw, or this screw, and then it'll start delaminating the door. So you want to just carve that out a little bit, carve it out, and just load it in there. You want it enough, just so if water gets in, water can just drain out. So that's important. See, we show you here on the slides. Obviously, you want to seal all along that rail. This screw, this screw, this screw, this screw. Take them out, put some caulking on it, send it back. Take the screw out, and when you extract the screw, you don't have to necessarily take it out. You want to take it out enough to where you take the caulking and kind of smear it on the back. When you turn that screw, it's going to create basically what's called essentially a grommet. And that's what you want to do, every single screw. Every single screw, all of them up underneath here. This had nothing on it. Up underneath here, had nothing. It was all wood. We put this metal in here. So, but that was bare wood. So again, you want to seal every single screw up underneath there, anywhere water is going to hit. So there's the point I'm saying about, see how we got, just back the screw out, put some on there, and it makes that grommet. That's what you want. That's how they stay sealed. Everything you can think of. We even got these ones up here. Every single screw. So people that say, hey, I got to get my coach re-caulked or resealed, you know, and some guys go, yeah, I can just run around with a little bit of caulking. Now, there's a lot to this. It is laborious. It is a lot of labor. You have to clean it out. You got to wash it down. It is something you need to pay attention to. So if you've got the time, I just recommend you do it yourself if you can. But like I said, it is very, very meticulous. Really, I think we got like at least a couple of days on this thing, at least that. And I've done some that take me 4 days. So again, same thing here. Cleaned all this up, caulked all that, even that little bracket up there. We got that around the lights, especially around these ladders. Same thing. Pull these out. And this is where I think we had some damage on the back here. We ended up putting on new LED lights on this because the old fixtures were just that bad. We had power going to them and we just could not get them to work. So I bought these off of Amazon for like 80 bucks. So, and obviously got the reverse light. It's the same light, it's just LED. So one of the other things that we do, you can see how we did this little support right here. So now when you climb on the ladder, there is stock in here for this, but even still, it's going to keep doing this when you step on it. And then it just starts pulling even on this part right here. So this piece on the other is like this. See the screw? There's one on the other side. And inside of here is a little, what they call a star nut. And that star nut, it just, you press it in there and it's got these little splines like this. So when it goes inside the tube, I'll probably have to get one to show you. But then it's threaded so you can put it in there. But now when you tighten it up, those splines kind of lock into the edges of the tube so it can't come back out. But there's a bolt in here that goes to there, but still you'd loosen it up, and then this transition, that's where you're going to get some water, a little bit of water in there. It'll trickle, hit the bolt, and it'll run back in. And it's these little tiny things. They're chronic. They're chronic. This isn't something you're going to go, oh, wow, I noticed that little bit of water in there. You're never going to see it. You're not going to see it, not until you see it, because eventually that little bit gets in there, a little bit more, and that's why I say it is chronic. So, but that's the whole trick to caulking these. You really need to make sure everything is absolutely sealed. And this one here, she came all the way from Louisiana. We appreciate it. We thank you for bringing your coach all this way. And I think she's really got like a seven-hour drive from what I understand. And I can imagine how many RV places that she has passed up to come here. And we're honored that she has come that way. And that is why, you know, we put so much effort into looking at every little thing, because people come here and they entrust us to do things on stuff they don't know, and they expect us to know. And that's what frustrates me when I see all these other shops and they just gloss over things, and people came to you looking for you to help them out, to stop this problem, and they don't. And they just don't know all these little intricate things that are going to cause a coach to fail. So I'm going to put this scaffold, I got obviously right here, I'm going to bring it back in, then I can walk the roof and show you the way we did the roof system. But other than that, that's basically how the whole caulking works. Like I said, every single thing, get some caulking in there. All of this, every single screw. I can't emphasize that enough. We have done this, I think it's a Seneca, and it's probably on my YouTube. It's a Jayco Seneca we did. I know I did a couple of them at least, but whole wall was all rotted out, and it had a rail like this going down there, but it didn't have this in there. It was just had screws. But when we looked around, we could not find where that water was. It rotted the floor and the inside. And when we got in there and started taking this apart and took the siding off, you could literally see the water where it was hitting the screws and staining the sheathing behind the pylon. So, you know, that's important to have everything caulked. So, obviously you don't want to caulk around, you know, your water heater, but you do want to caulk around. You open the frame up like this. You say, you want to caulk that for sure, but you don't want to caulk this thing shut. That doesn't make sense. So, you know, you got to use obviously some common sense with that. But all right, let me get the scaffold together, and then I'm going to show you the roof. But otherwise, we've got everything together, and I'm sure it could use a bubble bath for sure. And other than that, let's see if I can. Oh, we got the bunk together too. Let me see if I can get in there if you want to see it. Generally, when we do rebuilds and stuff, we don't usually paint. We don't do all that. No matter what I put in there, anyways, I'm certain that whoever isn't going to like it, and they probably, you know, they're going to want to do it themselves. But hopefully there's enough light in here, because the battery is dead. Yep. So we were able to, I don't know if you can see it, there you go. We were able to leave all this. There was no damage. So remember when I was telling you about the front part of that bunk? I said I don't want to tear everything apart. We're working from the outside because everything is fine. So right now, you can't tell that we were in this coach. And that's the way I wanted it. So if she ever sold it, it doesn't look like it's been repaired. It looks original there. It doesn't look like it's ever had any trouble. They all do, but it doesn't raise a red flag. So you can't see the back wall. But the back wall is just Luan. That's all it is. And, you know, she's going to have to get some paper on that or whatever. You're never going to find this wallpaper anyways. All right, let me get this stamp on roof. So we got our little stamp on there. That's so we can monitor the roof system when it comes in for inspections. We know when it was put on. Also, if she ever went to sell the coach, you don't have someone trying to talk her down, tell her she needs a roof, you know, especially when she said, hey, it was just put on June of 24th. So you can see the whole, everything here is up on a curb. And, you know, I keep saying these need to be on a curb. That's the design of these. A flat roof, low slope roof needs to have curbs. You can look anywhere online, anywhere in the world actually, and you can look for images. Hopefully that thing will focus. Oh, there it goes. You can look for images, flat roof images, anywhere in the world, and you'll see everybody in the world puts curbs on a flat or low slope roof. That's how it functions. The only ones that don't is an RV industry. And ironically, you always have these leaks around the plumbing, around the vents, refrigerator, air conditioner. Anywhere there's a protrusion, you're going to have a leak. Even around here, like these ladder boots, you typically generally have a leak. So what the RV industry does, you see before we even took the roof off, they just take the vent, squash it down, run the 28 screws around it, and slide it with self-leveling. Well, then it leaks. And they say, hey, it's leaking. I thought it wasn't supposed to leak. I thought I had this 10-year, 12-year warranty. That's only for the material. This did not fail in 12 years. That hole you made and did not flash it properly, that is why it's leaking. That's not covered under your warranty. Well, what do I got to do about it? Well, you need to put some more self-leveling on it. So put some more on there. And then it happens again. Well, hey, it's happened again. Well, keep putting more on there, more on. That's why I joke around and I say the only one's putting more on is a moron. There's something wrong with that system. It's kind of like buying tires. You went and bought tires, and then the salesman shakes your hand, says, thank you for your business, we appreciate it. And brand name tire. Oh, and by the way, you're going to have to fill them up every 3 to 4 months with air because they're going to go flat on you. So obviously you wouldn't want to have that tire, right? Same thing with the roof system. You shouldn't have to be babysitting a roof. My customers don't have to do anything. They're done. That's it. You know, obviously you want to inspect things. That's just smart. But you're not going around with another 10 tubes of self-leveling to try to get this thing all sealed back up. You don't have to do it. Everything is all heat welded. So, you know, this is a proper way to do a roof. The self-leveling, the conditioners, the coatings, put a pencil to it yourself. Just put a pencil, roughly. There's about 1 million coaches out there. It is a $1 billion a year industry. Why are they going to change that? They're not. They're not going to lose out on all that money. They just, so they give you, spin the narrative and tell you, oh yeah, that's what you got to do. That's the way an RV is. No, it's not, because you can clearly see it's not. I did it. If I can do it, why can't they do it? You know, they're not going to take the time. They're not going to take the extra money and expense and put curbs in to make sure it doesn't leak. When your roof leaks, they're selling product. When your roof fails, they're putting on a new roof, right? Because and generally, it's the material hasn't failed, but now there's so much rot and everything underneath there. Now they got to go, well, we got to tear that roof up, put a new roof on because you got D-lam in there, and it all is, you know, the wood's all rotted, so on and so forth. Okay, great. So what do? Put the same kind of roof back on. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly, expecting different results. So that just doesn't make sense at all. Let's put the same exact roof system on there that's going to need the same exact attention in self-leveling and all of this nonsense, so it'll happen again, so you have to do it again, right? It doesn't work. So some people say, hey, we can spray over it, it'll be done. Well, the spraying doesn't take care of the curb issue, okay? That's one. Also, if you read the warranty, they're not lifetime. They're not. So a lot of people don't read warranties. They just take what the marketing is telling them, what the ad is saying, or what the salesperson is telling them. Oh yeah, it's a lifetime roof. So going by their definition of a lifetime roof, this is a lifetime roof. So read their warranty, and at the bottom, you'll see it'll say should last. Exactly those words, should last 20 years before it needs to be recoated. Now you are responsible for recoating it out of your own pocket, out of your own money, and you buy the product from them. So if you do not recoat it, the roof fails. If the roof fails, then is that lifetime? Well, no, they're not going to honor that warranty. They're going to say, oh yeah, it failed because you didn't put the coating on. Well, wait a minute, when I bought it, you said it was lifetime. Well, why should I have to do anything? So, you know, that doesn't make sense. This roof system, this actual membrane right here, this is a 20-year roof system. So, and this is the way they margin that out and the way they assess that 20 years is when they put it through accelerated testing. This is intended to be on a commercial building, out in the sun, out in the weather, 24/7. Campers generally aren't out in the weather like that, like a commercial building. Far and few between when you see campers actually out there. But that's how they rate this material. So when you see them on, and you go, if you're looking at one, 10-year, 12-year warranty on it or whatever, again, that's just the material. So also on the spray-on or roll-on type of roof systems, they don't cover air conditioning leaks. They don't cover air conditioning leaks. So that's important. The air conditioners, the battery went dead. I had to change the battery pack out. The air conditioners, you read the warranty, it'll say that they don't honor, you can still get an air conditioning leak because all they're doing is putting a coating on top, and that foam gasket is still what's sitting up underneath the air conditioner. So the way we've got ours, you're not getting water up in your air conditioner. It's done. It's done. So all these curbs, everything here, we don't sell anything, by the way. We don't sell anything at all. We're just a service center. But all these curbs, all the boots for those, everything here, I custom make. I custom make to fit the roof. I want to make sure it fits this roof, and I'm going to show you an example of it. So I made this curb for that, but on this curb right here, this and the skylight are so jammed together that I had to make this all one piece. This whole thing is all one piece. See? No screws. Don't put screws in. That's solely glued down. Start putting screws in there, you get cracks. These skylights, they expand and contract. So especially now, it's really hot out. I think yesterday it was like 98 degrees or something. So this is heating up and it's expanding. Now when you get a thunder shower, it contracts. And when it contracts, so now as it's heating up, it's pushing against the screw. Then as it contracts, it's pulling against the screw. And that's how you get these little hair fractures in here. This lens looks fine. That's why we put it back on. But to save her a couple of dollars. But and there's nothing wrong with it except for the discoloration. So there's no sense in spending another $150 for another lens. But anyhow, that's why we glue them down. So what we got here, on the inside here, there's an inner lens and you have this outer lens. So there's two lenses, there's a gap in there. So now especially in the winter or the cooler time of the year, you'll probably get some frost and some dew up on top of this lens. When you get frost and dew on there, sun comes up, it evaporates it off. But not only is it on the top, it's actually on the inside of this lens. It's on the inside. So now the sun heats up, evaporates what's off, but what's on the inside, it can't evaporate that off. So what happens is it drools down, and it's going to drool down, and that's basically what you would call, it's condensation, but it turns, and it'll get into the roof deck, and it'll start rotting everything out. And it does it chronically. These are these little leaks that I was saying. It'll just chronically, it'll start wicking down, and it'll start leaking into, once the wood and deck and everything absorbs it, you can't absorb anymore, then you're going to start seeing leaks inside there, but it'll rot out. So now, up the sheathing up underneath here, we'll say on a typical RV, not this one, but a typical RV, it'll rot the sheathing out. So now how are these screws going to hold in rotted sheathing? So people see a leak and they go, hey, they just put some more self-leveling on it. And they squirt some more self-leveling on it. It's still not going to work because the thing is, it's not screwed down, it's not secured. So, and that's, your dog chasing its tail. So this is an intake. That's a solar fan. When the sun comes up to evaporate this off, that solar fan kicks on and it pulls air from here and it cycles it through and it keeps going, and it keeps that constant airflow to keep that moisture out of the skylight area. So we also put metal. I put aluminum in there. I did that in case the skylight leaks. I don't want it leaking into the frame. I don't want to get in there. Skylight may break. It's common for these to break. So I put some aluminum in there and I wrapped that whole thing up, much like you do on vinyl siding around your windows. But we did the same thing, and it goes down into the ceiling. So this way, if it does leak, it's going to go into the shower. That's the way we did it. So, but everything is all heat welded. This is all heat welded. Everything's heat welded. This is counter flash that I built in. This is counter flash. So the purpose of the counter flash is as you get in a storm and the water's just, whether you're sitting or not, and it's coming across the roof, it's going to come up here and get redirected. That's the purpose of a curb. That's why they're so important. So it comes up, it'll get redirected around, and it stays away from this whole penetration. That's the whole purpose of a curb. So all of them have it. Even up underneath here, it's going to be hard to see. What's up underneath here is that foam gasket I was telling you about. So that foam gasket is just maybe an inch. Okay, you got a 1-inch foam gasket. I don't want any water to get up inside there, so I put another piece of counter flash, this one up front here, right there. So we put that on there to push the water down to go underneath and run along. That's how that works. So all that water's out of there. Put these stands in the back. That just gives it some balance. Okay, so it's just not sitting there. It just helps support the air conditioner. But everything is all, again, it's all heat welded. Everything's all heat welded. And the other thing you'll notice is when we do these, is that every one of these screws are all sealed. You can see all the caulking in there. Every single screw is sealed. That's the way you do it. Look how much we got underneath here. That's the way you do it. A lot of guys just put some butyl on there, squash it down, they'll run it, and then they go around self-leveling. That's why it doesn't work. We don't use butyl. So we don't even do that at all. Even these screws, when we put this on, we load it. And I set it on there, and after we set it on there, we kind of tap it, make sure it's got a good bond. And then once it has a good bond, we'll go around and put a nice clean strike, and I leave it. Come back the next day, then we put our screws in and we seal all the screws. So I got a nice thick gasket under there. That thing isn't going to leak. There's no way that's going to leak at all. So up here we put the letter A because that's where the antenna was. So we just put it there just in case down the road she didn't want an antenna, but just down the road if she does, there it is. So along the top you can see we've got 2 layers of caulking on here. You can't see 2 layers, but you can see the layer of caulking on there. But we do put 2 layers on there. So when we put these gutters on, again, no butyl, they're secured in here. We put an adhesive sealant behind here. So that adhesive sealant, by the time we put that on, put the screws in, it burps up, we strike it down. Once we strike that down, then we come back and we do 1 pass. When that cures, we come back and do the 2nd pass. So what I want, this pulls right out. See, like, get a better bite at it. But this, that little groove, that sits in the track. Everything's sealed. Every single screw is sealed. That's the way you want to do it. Everything has to be sealed on these. It's these little things that other shops don't pay attention to that determine how long these coaches are going to last and where you get damage. So if you have that open, the other type of insert just floats in there, and you get water in that track. I don't like that. I want everything out. You don't want water sitting in the track. But then you get all this mold, you get mildew, you get all this stuff, and that compromises around the screw, and then you start getting little leaks, little tiny, again, these chronic leaks that start coming down, and they could get behind the siding and cause some delamination. So that's why we do things the way we do. Take your time, do your job right, and it'll last. So use good product. Don't use silicone. Don't ever use silicone on a roof. If anybody ever told you that, just don't take any more advice from them. You know, this is obviously all our info right there. But this is the material. Obviously white, tan, gray. These are 3 standard colors that we can put on a roof. So this is a 60 mil. That's how thick it is right here, 60 mil. What's on your roof now is about 25. So, and if you have, some people say they have fiberglass roofs. You don't have a fiberglass roof. That's very, very rare. Unless you have a really high-end coach, it's probably not a fiberglass roof. What it is, and a lot of people think this is fiberglass. This isn't fiberglass, this is plastic. It's plastic with fiberglass. So the plastic, the fiberglass gives that strength. That's why sometimes you'll see, like in the front where we did the bunk, you'll see some coaches are all wrinkled up, because if you take a water bottle, throw it out in the sun, you'll see it wrinkle up after a time. And that's what happens to that. It's plastic with fiberglass in it for strength. So again, we got 60 mil, but this is a reinforced membrane. And what reinforced means is there's a weave in there. Let's see if I get this just right so you can see it. You see those little squares? Looks like a screen in there. that is a reinforcement. That's what helps resist against hail, tree branches, things like that. So let's get back to the warranty on this. 20-year warranty. You could say this roof is lifetime. You'll never have to put another roof on. You're going to get more than 20 years out of this. You're going to get probably 25, even closer to 30 on an RV. But once this roof, the actual membrane looks like it's starting to fail, all you have to do is put another coating on it. That's it. So technically, according to all these spray-on and roll-on lifetime warranties, this is a lifetime warranty roof, right? That's all you have to do is put another coating on it. So we ask folks to come back in for their inspections. The warranty, the 20-year, again, is on this membrane. So we like folks to come back. Unlike other shops, we like them to come back so I can take a look at it. I show everybody how to do an inspection. They can do it themselves if they want. No big deal. We show them how to go around, check for certain things, and it's just smart to do that. Just because this is an awesome roof system, we use great products, but still, you want to inspect it. That's just smart. You just don't ever think that, oh, it's done, you never have to mess with it again. That'd be foolish to do that. But a customer can still come in and inspect this, and that doesn't affect the warranty of the material. The material is still the 20-year, right? So we ask them to come back. We'll be glad to check it out for free. We have no problem with that. We'll check it out. If we see something, we catch it, we'll take care of it. And some of the areas that may possibly happen on this are transition areas, like maybe right in here somewhere, or maybe in the front corners. That's probably about all, you know. And even if it's a small leak, then or a small breach, you still want to pay attention to it. But since we put 2 layers on it, and then we got the layer up underneath here, it's going to take a lot to get through there. But we like to catch things before they become a problem. So, you know, we call that a courtesy warranty. You bring it in every year, we'll inspect it. If you don't want to, that still doesn't mean you don't have a 20-year warranty. You know, I just don't want someone to not ever look at it, and then something happens and come back to me and say, hey, by the way, I had a leak here or there. And you're like, well, that could have been done with some caulking. That's, you know, I don't know, maybe a tree hit it. Maybe a tree branch grabbed it, right? And as they were going, and they didn't notice that it tore the caulking a little bit, and then something happened, right? Maybe there was a crack in the skylight lens or whatever, and it causes a problem. You know, I mean, obviously that's not my fault. So we don't mind looking at them. Bring them back to us. We'll check them out. It's that easy. You know, we'll inspect it for free. Usually takes 20, 30 minutes. And but some people, if they don't want to travel that far, that's fine. I'm going to show you how to do it. You know, if you can at least take a look at this thing once in a while, then you're going to be fine. Maintenance for this is all you have to do is wash the roof, period. Wash it. You can bring it to a truck wash. You can pressure wash it. This is a very resilient roof. If you don't want to wash it, bring it to a truck wash, say get up there and pressure wash it. You know, if they say, oh, well, we don't pressure wash RV roofs, you know, and a lot of them don't, you can say, hey, you know, this is an RV roof install roof. You can call them and they'll tell you, you know. And when we did commercial work, we pressure wash them all the time to clean them. That was what we had to do. We had to wash them down, clean them, and, you know, we were doing our inspections on them. That was part of the protocol. So, other than that, like I said, we do not have, we don't sell anything. We don't quote on social media. And if you like the video, hit the like button. I guess it does something for the algorithms or something. I don't know. I'm not a YouTube guy. I'm not putting this together for YouTube content. Skip all the commercials. I don't care. I didn't put these up to make money off of YouTube. We put these up so the customer can see all the work that we did, and then obviously whoever else that may be thinking about coming into our shop, they can see how detailed we are, what we look for, why we look for it. I like to show the damages and how they help. Hopefully you pick up a tip if you're a DIYer. But other than that, you know, again, they're not essentially put together as a DIY video, but, you know, these videos would be real long, and I'd have a lot of details to go through. So other than that, we appreciate everybody watching. You can see the same curve that I built for the refrigerator. So I figured I'd point that out because I noticed it, didn't mention it. But other than that, we appreciate y'all watching. And again, if you have any questions, you can go to our website. There'll be a card on there anyways, just rvroofinstall.com. Our contact information is on there, but it's just contact us. Contact us at rvroofinstall.com. So, thanks for watching. Wait and found a light. Wanted to show you the bunk, because the bunk looked real clean. So we just didn't want to disturb all that. That's what I was talking about earlier. And then to the back wall. It's just wood. She can put some wallpaper on there or paint it, but we redid the whole wall. And that's that. But that's what you look like. And let's see on here. I can't see it. The other thing we look for on the back I didn't show you on here, and I probably can't see it on this. Can't see it on any of them. But right up, I showed you how we did all that, but right up on the top here, look at that. Right here where the roof comes in and it turns up, right in this corner, you want to check all that too. You want to make sure that's all done. Actually, we had to fix the sweep gasket on this one, on this side over here. We replaced it. But sometimes water will get down inside there and they misfold the back, but there's just no way to get in there to show you, even if it is. But you want to check that. You want to check the let me see if I can show you on here. Right up in here. You want to check that where they put tape. You want to check all that and make sure that's right. Right up in the corner. You know, that runs along the top of the roof. Care package. So in our care package we have caulking, we got primer, we have got 2 patches. Those are heat patches. We got a patch peel and stick patch. We got a checker tool. We've got a magnet. And the rest of this is just pens, keychains, brush, nozzle. Okay, so if we have a hole in the roof, it will simulate a hole. You can do hole simulations. We say we got a hole there. Here's your tree branch come through and you're like, oh man, I got a hole in my roof, it's leaking. That's what you want to do. And it's raining out. Right now it's raining. You're like, crap, I gotta stop that leak. You want to get in there, and if you can't get that nozzle in there, don't worry about it. Make it a little bigger. What you try and do, you need to get up underneath the roofing, like this. This is what we need to do, get up underneath the roofing. Then you're going to take and you're going to put this up inside there, and you're going to squeeze, 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 squeeze. Hopefully this thing is plugged up. There it goes. Just squeeze, squeeze. You want to try and get up underneath this part too. Squeeze up underneath there. Get some more underneath there. Well, we are getting this thing all boogered up. Then what we're going to do, you're going to push it together. See how it oozes out? That's sealed. You're done. This is a moisture cured product. So what? It's a hot mess. Looks terrible. Who cares? Keep the water out. So now, the next day, we're going to go up there, and that's going to be cured looking like that. So we're going to take a knife, and you just shave it down. Just shave it down with a knife. I'm just going to obviously wipe this off. Now you say, hey, I want something a little better than that. So what we're going to do is get some cleaner. This is a terrible rag. You got another one. You got one on you? Oh, get a rag, get a rag, get a rag, get a rag, get a rag. What are you talk about, man? Nope, just leave it alone. Oh, leave it alone right now. We're recording now? Are we on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Alright, so now we cleaned it off with a knife. I just washed that off because it's still wet. Take that off. So now we got a patch. There's a peel and stick patch. We're going to take that, we're going to center it over there. Just take a pen and go around like this. I like to kind of put a dash like that so I know who's where, what, and where, and how. So now there's what I got. So in the package we got primer. We also have a brush. You're going to take that, you're going to go all inside the square. And you're also going to go outside this square about 3/8 of an inch. Outside about 3/8 of an inch or so. Once you get that, there's a film on the back. You peel the film, now you know which side you are, see, because there's your marks. And you peel that film back. Get the fingers, fat fingers in there to get the film off of this thing. This is just a regular roof tape. That's all it is. We put them in all the care packages. Get that daggone thing off of there. Probably need some fingernails. Probably help. Come on. There it is. Okay. Oop, hey, hey, there it is. Now you got the film. We take that film. So now we're going to line it back up with this. We already got the primer under there. You just peel the film back, and as you do, you just rub it down like this. Sometimes that film will get a little stuck in there. This is just a butyl. You just kind of try to keep it as even as you can and flat as you can. Boom, you're done. There it is. So now, out here, this is where your primer is. You put the primer on there. You got primer there, and now you're going to put primer here. You want to prime all this area with your brush. Prime all that. Then you're going to come back. Once you get it all primed, then you're going to put a little bit of caulking on it, just like this. That simple. If it doesn't all sit in there, you can always take your finger and go around it if you want. We're trying to obviously stop a leak and make one of. There's going to be a little more permanent of a patch than just that plug that we did when it was raining. So now that we get that all done, the whole purpose of it is this part here. This part underneath here, that's a butyl. When the sun hits that, if you didn't have the caulking on there, it will cause it to release and curl up just like I'm doing here. And it'll start coming loose. That's why you need the primer. That's why when you prime it, you're going to prime on top of this because nothing will stick to it. Nothing, the caulking will not stick to this patch and it won't stick to the roof unless you use the primer. That's how you do a patch. Ta-da! All done.